So in multiplication and also in fractions, we often talk about multiples of numbers. And so I'm going to show you how to list multiples of a number. And we're going to just list the first 5 multiples of the number 7. So list the first 5 multiples of 7. Okay, now we're going to start off with 7 times 1. So 7 times 1 is 7. So we're always going to start off with the number that we are working with. So we're going to work with the number 7. We're going to start with 7 because that's 7 times 1. Then we want to think of, well, what if we multiply it by 2? 7 times 2. That's going to give us 14. And we're just going to keep going up. So we start with times 1, then we're going to go times 2, and sure enough, we're going to go 7 times 3, which is 21. 7 times 4 is 28. And the last one, 7 times 5, is 35. Because remember, we're just going to find the first 5 multiples. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. So when you're asked a question about listing the multiples, like the first 5, this is what you're going to be writing out. Okay? But this is what you're thinking. 7 times 1, 7 times 2, 7 times 3, and so on. Or if you've got that, you could just think about, okay, I'm going to be basically skip counting. I'm skipping by 7s. I'm just going to go 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. If you know your 7s, then it's much easier. You don't have to think as hard. But if you don't know your 7s, just start with the 1 and increase as you go. Okay, let's go ahead and list the first 10 multiples of 3. List the first 10 multiples of 3. Go ahead and see if you can do that on your own, and I'll go ahead and write them out. So pause the video right now. Okay, I'm going to start with 3 because 3 times 1 is 3. 3 more is 6. Then we've got 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, and the last one is 30. I've got 10 multiples. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now sometimes you might be given a list of numbers and you have to determine which of those numbers is a multiple of a specific number. So for instance, if we have 66, 92, 28, and 56, and I want to know which of these is a multiple of 8, you want to determine which of these 4 numbers is a multiple of 8. Now, if you know your multiplication tables, this is going to be super easy. You're not going to have to do a lot of thinking or writing out because you're going to know. But if you don't know, you could do what we did here previously. You could list off the multiples, but instead of listing off the multiples of 3, you're going to list off the multiples of 8. And you could go all the way up to the highest number, see if maybe 8 goes into 92, or maybe you won't get 92, maybe you'll get a different number. Or you could take each number and try to divide 8 into each number. So let me show you that example in case you're not sure what I'm talking about. So if I look at the first number, 66, and divide that by 8, Well, I know 8 goes into 64 8 times. And I've got 2 left over. If you get a leftover or a remainder, then it's not going to work, okay? So 66 is not an option. How about 92? Well, 8 times 12 is 96, so 8 times 11 is going to be 88. And that's going to give me a remainder of 4. So again, that's not going to work. How about, does 8 go into 28? I know 8 goes into 24 3 times. Again, I'm going to have 4 left over, so that's not going to work. And hopefully you know that 8 goes into 56. 8 times 7 is 56, but let's go ahead and, yeah, it's going to go 7 times, which is 56. Notice I've got a 0 remainder. 56 is a multiple of 8. Now I could have just listed off my multiples like I said, starting with 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, and so on. And because I got to 56, I could stop there. You want to look at the question carefully because it might say what are the multiples. If it said multiples, then you know you're going to be looking for more than one. But because in this question I was just asking you multiple, singular, I'm just going to go ahead and stop because I know that is my answer.